Good morning, traders. Let's get it started. Who's ready to get into another week? I'm excited. Got this new show, new mentality. Been doing a lot of swing trading, thinking about burning the boats. Yeah, we're going to make it as a trader, baby. There's only one plan A, and we're going to get there, team. With you guys' help, of course, we'll get to the action. We'll take a look at all the watch lists out there. If you guys got a stock on your watch list that you want to talk about right here on live trading, go ahead, throw it up in the chat. Let's get it started today. Of course, I got Lord Ryan in the back and excited to get to the action. Stocks moving up. We're back to 400. Is it a bullish day? Bearish day? You guys let me know. Let's get it started.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. I mean, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Let's get it started, team. There's a lot to do. Like always, I'm going to share my screen and we'll get it started. I'll bring Ryan in the background. How we doing, my friend? What's going on?
We're doing good, man. Happy Monday. Glad to be here. Glad to see our great community again. You ready for some trading?
Definitely ready. Like always, we got to bounce back. It's another week. It's time to come back towards our process approach and try to get some takedowns. And who knows, maybe we get the market pushing back up. But the one thing that we can do is always just come in with a fresh mindset, get ready for the market. And if anything, always be taking a look. What are our expectations? What are our beliefs in the market? How's our systems been going? How's the year been going? Because now we're talking about, we're almost getting to the third month, right? I think at this point, if you started new kind of strategies, new approaches in the market, this is when we can start reviewing, right? About usually around 2 months. That's usually, at least for myself, when I'm about like 40 trades deep into the year. And then that's when I can really start reviewing how I've been trading, right? I don't want to review trading if it's only been like 5 trades, because that's not really reviewing trading, right? That's more just seeing how your luck has been in the short term. Luck doesn't necessarily tell us exactly all we want to see, right? We need a sample size, a bigger sample size approach, right? 20, 30, 40, 50 trades will tell you a lot more about your system than, let's say, 10. All right, that's what I wanted to start with today's lesson, but let's get to the action. Let's go to the stocks. Of course, I was looking at SHOP when we closed up pre-market prep. It's a stock that we can think about today, right? Stocks that have pulled back significantly to prior resistance from the big rip that we saw in January. Could get a lift again if the market tends to come up today. And as we see in the pre-market, the SPY is starting to come up a little bit back towards the 400. Are we going to have a bullish day? But one thing that I would say to keep in mind is from Friday's close to where we are now, we've already kind of made a 3.6 for $3.64 move up there to $4. It's about $4 move. I think this is already kind of telling us that we could get a pullback out the open and then a push back up. So what I'm going to be looking for is pullbacks coming back here towards the prior pre-market resistance around 398.62. Bottom levels for me, it's going to be through the levels that we had in the early pre-market or after hours Friday, where this popped towards 398.17, low being 397.54. So I'm putting it around 397.53 for downside action continuation. I always like to set myself levels where I think we could get a bounce and levels where I think we could break down. Bounce for me is going to be back towards 398.60s. Below 397.50s, that's when I'm back more into intraday short-term thinking, right? And that's more in that short mentality. Now, I do have some swing trades on. I can really quickly try to review those. Let me go ahead and just quickly run through them. I'll tell you right now, ADM, trying to hold 81s. This is as simple as that. Look at the daily chart. Look at the support underneath it. If it can hold 81, I'm sticking around. It can even wick through a little bit, but I don't want it to come through like, let's say, 80, 80s. Want it to come back towards 83. This is more of your value play. Best Buy, this is one that I was up significantly in the pre-market. A little frustrated with the market coming up on Best Buy because this is one that I'm really looking to take down. We're back here towards 83.40s when this morning we had a low of 82s. I have an average of 83.15 on Best Buy. So this is a short on Best Buy, and it's a swing. We'll look to see if we can get it back down. Panera Brands, I've been adding slowly to this swing, looking for the push back towards 37. We'll look to see if we get that today. And then Caterpillar, this one I might get stopped out in today. Really just going to keep a close eye to see if we get back above the 240s and close above that on, let's say, a 5 or a 15. If we do close above a 5 or a 15 above 240s, I'll get out. But if CAT can come back to 236, we're going to be looking good. And I think this could break through the 233s today if we get the rejection that we need on this stock, right? Back above the 240s, it can reclaim and make its way to 250. We'll see what happens on some of these. All right, getting back towards now, I'll go to my man Ryan. Like always, you guys can keep up with all the action. If you guys have stocks that you guys want me to put on alerts, tell me them in the chat. I'll make sure to set them. And also, give me levels. I don't mind setting them at levels that you're looking at. And then I can at least alert the chat that, hey, this stock is moving through these levels. I got no problem with that. I can set up to about 50 alerts with my charting system. So I got you, team. Just let me know. All right, getting down my charts, going to go ahead and kick it to Ryan. What are you looking at today, my friend?
Well, we're going to be looking at the broader market. Of course, we want to see if SPY continues to put in its green day. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. That's why you didn't put it up for me.
No worries.
You were trying to be kind, and here I am not helping you out at all.
I didn't hit you. I didn't hit you today. I let you put it up, my friend.
Go ahead and get that done. So I see here in the chat, Becca saying, I saw Green Day perform this weekend, so I'm feeling it'll be a Green Day today. Okay, pretty cool.
Ooh,
hopefully that
favorite Green Day song. Come on. What's your favorite Green Day song? Putting you on the spot. Come on.
Probably Time of Your Life, just because I've heard it a billion times.
I'll have the time of
yeah, I
your
mean,
life.
it just, you know, there's many times in my life where that song was fitting. So it's also used in one of Seinfeld's collaboration shows. So that's really good. So that would probably be my favorite. Sorry if that's a boring answer.
It's a song. That's what matters. And I just don't want to be an American idiot today, you know?
Here we go. Here we go. Mitch is going to start popping off. So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool because we are having a Green Day so far today. Really, the question is going to be, does it hold? So first of all, if we take a look at the daily chart on the SPY, just to kind of get our bearings right here, you can see that what we did is we sold off to this 50-day moving average, which also corresponded with this trend line that we have from the October lows up to the January lows and now to the February lows. And it looks like we're trying to bounce off this trend line. We overshot a little bit, came into that 200 days. So it looks like we found some support between the 200 and the 50-day moving average. That was 393 and 396. So that 3-point area. And now it looks like we're trying to bounce. So where do we go from here, right? What is the next move? We're going to watch and see if this bounce looks like it can continue. Maybe if this can continue for multiple days, you'll have an opportunity to swing this. Market hasn't been giving us a lot of that recently. I guess sometimes when it goes up, when the market trades up and it feels like the market should be trading down, we sometimes get this multiple day move. Maybe we get that again. We've also seen some chop recently, so it's going to be important to have a plan in case we don't get that directional move. But it does look like we're bouncing here, so let's see if the market continues here today. That's basically all I'm looking at on the SPY. This is definitely going to put in some of those ETFs that we trade all the time, SQQQ, TQQQ, SOXL, SOXS, all of that stuff. So those will be liquid, and those will definitely be traders. But let's see where we can actually go with the overall market. Now, if we flip over to the movers tool, I got to be honest, I'm a little bit light here on the movers tool. Not a whole lot going on. So much so that we are going to start with a penny stock. I know you penny players out there have all of the I know we have a lot of penny players out there. Boy, it is a Monday, and I am going to fight through it. But all you penny players out there, we did have one that has gone 400% in the pre-market here. So LHDX, this is Lucira Health. We did have a catalyst here. Lucira Health shares are trading higher after the company announced FDA authorization for its at-home combination COVID-19 and flu test. So we have another test here. This tests for COVID and for the flu. And as a result, looks like we're really having a big spike here. So you can see that busting through that 52 cent mark really kind of sent this thing. As far as trades go, I mean, just from like lessons, like I'm not going to trade it because it's under $1 and I'm just going to end up getting slapped around on it. But when you see a stock that's up 435%, I definitely, want to wait for that to kind of come in a little bit. I want to wait for that to pull back. Now we'll see if we end up getting that, right? We'll see what ends up happening here. VWAP, we got it at 54.5, so it is extremely extended away from the VWAP. If you trade this, just be careful, right? Have a plan. If you think that it's going to continue going up, have a plan in case it doesn't. So you're not just sitting there with a bunch of hopium watching your position evaporate as the stock comes back in. The worst thing that could happen is that if you buy it too high when it's extended and it comes in, you can be doing that battle with yourself where you stop out. And then right after you stop out, the stock reverses and goes back to right where it was. So I don't want to see that happen to anybody. Be very, very careful when you're trading something that's up 400%. To me, I would absolutely wait this out. I wouldn't even try to go after this. But worth noting, I see a couple of you mentioning this in the chat or did in the chat earlier today. So this one on deck here. Now let's move along here. Next one's going to be CFRX. That's Charlie Foxtrot Romeo X-Ray. This is Contrafect Corporation. And you can see here we actually had a double top that it busted through at 531. So if I flip over to the news tab here, don't really see a whole lot of anything. We'll check the Twitter streets in a little bit and see if there's anything else that we can find. But we're definitely getting some increased volume later in the pre-market here. Now, what's interesting is that it popped up to this 531 earlier. This is today, right? Yeah, earlier in the pre-market today on very, very little volume, came back in, and now we return to that spot. So really would like to see this settle out. Encouraged to see this volume here late in the pre-market, but we're going to need to see that magnified once the market opens for this to continue. Again, this stock here up 80% already. So if this can come back in, especially coming back in towards the VWAP, that would be ideal. Might even find some support right here around 5. We shall see. We'll keep it on watch. Next here is going to be AWIN. This is AWIN. This not as much of a massive ripper, but still getting some action here today. So you can see we were actually as high as 238. Definitely running into some pretty good resistance in that 230 level. So 230, 234, and 238, all areas that I've marked off here where this stock has started. We're currently below the VWAP. It looks like we are kind of holding 2. Let's see if we actually kind of trade back down more towards 2 and then maybe give us some sideways trading. That will allow the VWAP to come in more towards the price. And then maybe we can get a long side trade as it pops 2 and through the VWAP. So that would be how I attack this. We're going to kind of wait this one out as well. One thing I did want to mention here, BRMK. This was a stock that is getting bought in an all-cash transaction, right? So we do have a catalyst here. Broadmark Realty Capital shares are trading higher after the company announced it would be acquired by Ready Capital in an all-stock deal. So I don't expect this stock to move around a lot, which takes it off the board here for trading, but it is gapped up here about 20%. And there was another one that gapped up here too, was I can't remember. Let me go back to my other one here. I can't remember the ticker. I mixed it up with something else. So let me see if I can find it. SGen, I think the company. Yeah, SGen right here. CGen shares are trading higher following a media report, that should say, stating Pfizer is considering to acquire the company. So if we go back to the movers here, we take a look at SGen. This doesn't look like it is for sure. It was up as high as 190. So maybe there's some action here. I don't have enough of a read on this to really kind of trade these headlines. Maybe we'll expect some more, but anyway, just understand why this is up here today. Looks like it's got some decent volume. I would imagine it's probably not a whole lot. Yeah, it's just about 500,000 shares in the pre-market. Let's see what happens when this opens. You take a look at this chart here. Man, it would have been a lot nicer to know or have any type of inclination about this around 140. Here we are at 183. So we'll see where this goes here on SGen, but that is also in the news here today. Last thing I want to talk about is going to be nat gas, right? Because we have been talking about nat gas on almost a daily basis here on the show. Nat gas has been Very, very difficult to figure out. Been doing nothing but selling off. And finally, today we have nat gas printing about 271 on the actual commodity here. That's giving UNG and Boyle a move. So you can see that we were talking about Boyle last week. I think it was in the 4s, 4 or 5s, and here we are about 650. So clearly this is already moving. I expect more of this here today. I also expect some pullbacks here today, and I think that that's going to give us an opportunity to load nat gas if we do end up wanting to trade that. I would not necessarily just kind of chase this move. Instead, I'd wait for this to come back in and buy it there. So that's pretty much what I got for you here. I guess it is worth noting Bed Bath & Beyond is getting a little bit of action here. I don't really think this is going to go anywhere. Oh, and I guess we could talk about this. So, Neo, I guess Li Auto reported their earnings. So another one of those Chinese EV makers, and that sent some of the other EVs up in sympathy with Li. So we've got a catalyst here. Neo shares are trading higher after pure Chinese electric vehicle company Li Auto reported better than expected financial results. Those results also then led to some sympathy in XPEV. And I think actually Fisker announced their earnings here today. Did they not? Let's take a look here and see. Yeah, it looks like Fisker did as well. Let's see if we can. There we go. Fisker shares are trading higher if the company reported Q4 financial results. Company said Q4 and FY22 operational results were better than expected. Fiscal year 22, sorry. Total spending was below the company's anticipated range, and its cash balance at the end of the year was ahead of expectations. That's actually a really great little tidbit there, having a stronger balance sheet going into this year, definitely being rewarded, and so far being rewarded here in the stock. So Fisker popping back up. Let's see if it can actually take out this 660 level. This was one of the areas where it looked to be consolidating here before. 666. All of you superstitious people, look out. Realistically, area here is between 646 and 666. This sideways zone, if we can take that out, that should lead for higher. Might even test 7 and then maybe even 750. In fact, let me mark this line off here. Not quite 750, 726. So let's see if Fisker keeps having that electrical charge to go higher. We shall see. That's about it in terms of the notable things on here. These are stocks that are just kind of trading up just a little bit. I don't really see anything else on here. Fisker, Boyle, UNG. I guess we could take a look at UNG. What did you folks want to take a look at? Okay, we're getting a couple of tickers here. Getting a couple of tickers here from the group. Let's see. Where is Zunaid? Zunaid retired on his cost well. No, actually, I believe Zunaid will be back maybe next week. I don't want to put him on the spot, but pretty soon. He's still doing good. I got a couple of people quoting Green Day songs in here. You love to see it. You love to see it. All right, I'll get to your Boeing question here in a sec. Jay Rice saying CLF raising prices again, believe the third one in the last few months. So that's going to be Cleveland Cliffs. Actually, one of the interviews I did last month, geez, if I could type, one of the interviews I did last week, not last month, the gentleman that I interviewed, Craig, someone that I believe is one of my mentors, he said he liked some of these commodities, Cleveland Cliffs, Freeport, McMoran, some of those. So interesting to see Cleveland Cliffs here. We'll see if this can actually break out above 20. Jay, I'd love to know, you've been really sharp on some of these. I'd love to know if you have a plan for this. You guys want to check on Lunar? Let's check in on some of those crazy stocks. What's it doing here today? Okay, wow, what a fall from grace. Down from 136, currently trading sideways here. You know what the good news here, first of all, almost all the way back to where it really started. Looks like it bounced off that, about $17. Now, here's the interesting thing. We've actually kind of traded sideways for one session and two extended sessions. So maybe that's enough sideways trading. Maybe this actually starts to kind of build. Crow, was this one that you just have your eyes on this? So I think this is a pretty good one to keep your eyes on it. This might be one of those where you all of a sudden get a volume rush later on in the afternoon and the stock moves 5, 6, 7 points. If that's the case, that could be an ample stock to try and execute alongside day trade on. So we'll see if Lunar ends up getting going. Good stuff there. We'll definitely keep that one on watch. You were saying that GNS was due for a bounce. I know we're getting close to the market open here, Mitch, so I'm just going through what the chat wants to go through. If you've got something, let me know.
I'm stretching. I'm getting ready, trying to get that mind right. Got the OJ.
Yo, I saw
Let's
that.
go.
I saw that picture you posted of the weightlifting.
I'm pushing, man. I'm pushing.
Bro,
They want a video now, Ryan. I'm not that kind of guy to make videos, but I guess you got to do it, I guess, if you post it up, right?
I mean, hey, I mean, it looks like you're moving some serious weight there, Mitch. So might
Getting
be
to the point, man. I'm starting to get in shape, man. That's all it is. It takes a little while, right?
Yeah, it does.
It's not something that just comes easy. I've done plenty of working out in the past. I think what is a little bit different is that I've been kind of focusing in a more athletic workout, and I've been having fun with it. And,
Yeah,
and that's
well,
also fun too, right?
That's one thing. If you're able to have fun with it, you're going to be able to stick with it longer. Keep that in mind.
Hell yeah.
So always
I've been
look
doing
for
a lot of
something.
like box jumps and like crazy jumps that like, get people at the gym looking like, holy shit, this guy can jump that high? Yeah, let's go. I'm trying to get to the point where I could dunk in my 30s versus dunking in my 20s. That would be pretty legit.
I don't know
right?
if I'll ever dunk a basketball again, and I was never really
I can
good at
grab a
dunking basketball.
rim.
My issue was that even though I'm
Hands, right?
Yeah, my hand is not really big enough to palm a ball.
I'm with you, man.
I could dunk tennis balls all day.
I'm with you. The closest thing I ever came to dunking is like a tip slam, where it just like hit the backboard and I just kind of caught it, tapped it, grabbed the rim. Let's go, though.
It's open. Good luck, folks.
All right, Best Buy already pushing here for me right out the gates. I got to be careful here with it squeezing, right? Got to be smart. We could have a nice bounce back day on the day, even though I was in the profits in the pre-market. Got to always stick to the plan, right? Got to stay smart. So for me right now, that's going to be looking at this chart, right? And in more of an hourly basis, because when we're in swings, we try to stick to hourlies and dailies, right? And so you can see here how you're coming back towards this resistance. There's another layer with this wick right here towards around 84.50s. That's what we don't want to see break today. 84.50s gets us out. But if it can wick here and come right back to 83, we're not looking too bad. We'll see what happens on that one. That one's kind of the most important one to pay attention to for me. And cat right out the gates here above 240s. Don't really want to see that happen because that comes back towards prior support that could become now support if it breaks it, right? We want to see it use it as resistance like it did on this day. All right, let's get to the action. What you got, CFRX?
Yeah, CFRX immediately into a halt. So this is one of the stocks that we took a look at early on.
Nice.
We were late to this in terms of the actual break, unless you were trading in the pre-market. I wasn't. I never am. So right here out of the gate, immediately ripped up into a halt at 685. This is your first upside halt. So we'll see where CFRX goes here today. LHDX, this was the penny stock that we talked about as well. LHCX first move here is down. So this is actually what we wanted to see. Remember, we wanted this to come back in towards the VWAP or towards one of the support levels. Let's see where this thing stops and bottoms. This is actually good if this is going to set up. We did not want this to run away and just keep going up 400% here in the pre-market. So we'd love for this to come back in. We'll see if this ends up materializing. CFRX halted again, or halted for the first time, excuse me.
There you go. That's going to be my top right chart for you guys that are in that CFRX. So we'll keep it up there for you guys. I have the 6 charts up. I'm trying to do my best. And it ain't about getting swole on them. It's about get in your best shape of your life. That's one thing that I've been trying to have a motto on. And if you could keep in your best shape of your life, I mean, you're going to feel young, aren't you? Right? So let's do it.
Never a bad thing, Mitch. Never a bad thing. Thanks for sharing your journey. Fisker here, continuing to push out of the open on good volume here as well. So Fisker, remember, they had
nice push.
Yeah, so it's not just some of the Chinese autos too. Fisker also moving here.
It.
And again, I think that the thing that I like the most about the catalyst here today is that the total spending was below the company's anticipated range. I think that's really what's given it this juice. Let's see where it stops. But Fisker, nice little move here today.
All right, Best Buy getting towards really close towards stopping me out. I'll let you guys know if I do get stopped out in Best Buy.
Jay Rice saying Best Buy is up on a downgrade. Up on a downgrade.
It's the market, man. It's the market. It's driving it higher. It was down in pre-market to 82s. It looked really great for me. And when I first got in this morning, I was like, winner, baby. But that's how it goes, right, team? So we got to keep it in mind, right? Not going to also let it break too far through the risk here. It's already wicking there. I'm going to give it the chance to close the candle on a 5-minute basis above this 84.50. If it does, we'll get out. We got about two minutes left or 1 minute left on this candle.
And Kyle here looking at AWIN. That was another stock we had here from the list. Kyle, and as well as G2G, grateful to God there. So first of all, we did move through this VWAP. We moved through the 220 level. Let's see if this ends up slowing down and coming back in here. You can see that the previous movement, at least in the pre-market, has been kind of choppy, right? It hasn't really gone vertical or anything like that. Has pushed up, come back in, pushed up again. So keep that in mind. We might see that same pattern here. Looks like this is back testing VWAP currently.
SPY coming back down. That's going to help me get Best Buy to start coming down a little bit there. Let's see if the SPY can come back towards 398. That'll help close this candle below that risk spot, and I can hold a little bit longer in there. If Best Buy could get back through the 83s, we won't look too bad, but it is pushing here. SPY pulling back to 399.38. Keeping an eye on that Fisker. It just rejected that 7. Would look for pullbacks now. If it could come back towards 664 or 650s, I don't mind Fisker, but I feel like that's asking for much on a pullback. We'll see if we get that. LNG is one of my top watch todays. I'll show you guys that on an hourly chart. Look how this looks nice on an hourly chart. I'll look to see what happens on this one, though, because like you can see right here, to me on the trend line, we could get that nice breakout above 160s. I was looking for a pullback a little bit closer towards 155.87. We went to 156.36. So let's see if we can get back underneath 156. That would be more of that swing opportunity. If I'm going to day trade it, I could do the kind of a VWAP bounce style around 157.80s. We'll look to see what happens. LNG today, of course, that's kind of more of that natural gas trade if you guys are looking at it.
All right, so real quick, I did want to address this real quick before we move too far ahead here. Ryan, great name, man. My man, Ryan. Love the name. Love the name. Love you too, though, Mitch. Don't forget about that. BA with a near 10-point fall on Friday, back to under 200. News of the day was Boeing finalized manufacturing of the FA-18 Super Hornet by the end of 2025. So, Ryan, a couple other things here to review with the Boeing news and the recent move. The big thing here is going to be this 787 problem, right? This is the elephant in the room. This is actually why it came down. We got this report in the after hours Thursday yesterday. Boeing temporarily halts delivery of 787 Dreamliner over fuselage issue. Now, since then, on Friday, we actually got another print here, and anyone that's got Benzinga Pro, I would encourage you to go through this news item here. Benzinga analyst recommends caution following the latest 787 production problems. So here's the thing, fuselage issue. I mean, the first thing, when I read this headline, the first thing that I did was to check my trip to South Carolina to see what airplane that I was flying on. Now, maybe that's not the right thing to do. Maybe that doesn't really matter, but that's just how I kind of immediately reacted to the news. So with that being said, it's not surprising to see this sell off. And we're also probably going to see more headlines about this. So to your point about where the actual price is, let me turn VWAP off here. Let me read that comment again, just to make sure I get it. You're saying it's back to sub 200. I guess what you're asking, you didn't ask it directly, but I guess what you're asking here is this decent, or do you buy the dip here? Well, first of all, I think this could come in a little bit more, right? I do like Boeing. Nothing's changed here. The fuselage issue doesn't change this for me long term, but I do recognize that there could absolutely be some choppiness right around some of these headlines. The more we learn about this issue, there could be another shoe to drop, if you will. Now, that being said, if Boeing can come in towards 180, maybe you can start taking a stab at it. If you think this is kind of a non-issue, maybe take a stab at it now, and then, maybe tighten your stops up, maybe 190 or so. Make sure that you don't end up losing this in case this really comes in. Long term, I still really like this stock. I still think some of these near-term headwinds, they're going to be able to overcome and get over. So it's just unfortunate timing here for Boeing. Ryan, I hope that helps. That might not be what you were looking for, but I hope that helps.
All right, guys, if you guys are looking for a stock on pullback coming back here, I like the Google move. It was a strong move back up through the 90s and then held 90 pullbacks right now. So that's kind of the risk that I would like. It's slightly below 90s right now. So if it can pull back closer to that 90 spot right now, looks interesting on Google. Keeping an eye on that one with Microsoft. And just keeping an eye on the SPY. We're right off the VWAP. We'll look to see if we VWAP bounce to the upside here. LNG starting to pull back. I'll look to see if I get that deeper pullback towards below 156 and then coming back. But it is coming to that VWAP look if you like LNG today. Tesla popped up out the gates. Nice little VWAP bounce there around 201.92s. So if it can come back to that level, I'll try to take it around 202s back to the upside. That doesn't look too bad there. We'll keep an eye out on some other stocks, but there's the opening in that CFRX. Yeah, I saw that, guys. It opened up and it just halted right back on the downside.
So that was one upside halt into an immediate downside halt, Mitch. So we didn't get that rule of three test there. One thing I did want to really quickly check on, Noel, this is a stock that you've been on for a while here. I feel obligated to mention EOSE is on the move again. Yes, I own it. Really appreciate that. We're all about transparency and disclosure too. I'm always going to try to tell you if I own a stock that we're talking about. So appreciate that the community does that as well. That's much appreciated. Let me go ahead and actually pull the stock up here. If we take a look here, you can see it is moving here, some fairly decent volume, but really the story becomes more clear when you look at a 15-minute chart. Look what it did. It pushed right up into this area, which is clear resistance. Here's the thing though. Resistance areas are good. If you can clear out resistance areas, you really kind of create more momentum to the upside, and that might be what's happening here on EOSE. So not a coincidence that it came into this area and stopped. Let's see if it busts above. The highest print I have here on this candle is going to be 230. So let's see if it moves above 230. Let's also take a look at the daily chart to kind of get our bearings there. So you can see this is the formation that we're taking out. We talk about this all the time. This is really great. Push up into new highs, come back and back test the level, and then set new highs yet again. Let's see if EOSE can do that. A run might take us up to 283, but it would really need some increased volume in order to get that done. So we'll see here. Great spot, Noel. You've been on this from the beginning.
Interesting stock that I'm looking at right now. It moved last week and it's starting to move right now. I'm looking at ARBE. That's ARBE Robotics. It's an AI play. So keep your eyes on that one team, just a smaller name. Don't know if you guys have that one on your radar. It's already moving here towards 57s. Looks interesting for a move back towards 7. I'll show you guys that chart really quickly here. That's this chart here on an hourly. We could see this has popped. This was one that we were looking at last week. Let's see if it starts getting through the 650s, going to 750 on the radar. And it does have a lot of volume that came into this one. Next stop, if it gets through 7, I think could be 750 and 8. So we'll see what happens on this one. This is kind of one of those AI plays.
And Al, or I can't, is that Al Rod or is that AI Rod? I guess I can't tell. SMCI. SMCI, this is moving here. There's a little bit higher price stock here at $100, $103 here today. Definitely having a nice move. The one thing that I'm looking at for stocks like this, if we take a look at the daily chart here, love this, right? This is the type of formation I want to see on a swing. Just looking really strong, going all the way back to May of 2022. Just set new highs here, and look at this. Remember the last time that we took a look at this, we wanted this recent trend to break. Well, good God, look how strong it was ever since it broke that trend. So and good volume to go with it. Now the thing that I'm looking at here, the option chain, the near month, our current month, the March option chain here, doesn't have a lot of volume in it. So for me, especially with the stock being this expensive, I would try to trade this with options, but the option chain, not great, not something that I want to get involved with there. The 105 call, for example, right now has an 80-cent spread, 70-cent spread, excuse me. So just not my thing. Great looking chart here. Awesome if you're in this though. Here we go. So here's some more context for you, JJ. Really appreciate this. SMCI straight up since those idiots at Spruce Point put out a short report. So I'm guessing that this is what you're talking about, Jay. I'm guessing that must have been right in here, February 23rd. This little near-term downtrend. Boy, did that get snapped. We probably have that here in the newsfeed. Let's see. No, I guess we don't even have the Spruce Point short report in here. Good context there, Jay. Really appreciate that. This has been super strong. No position in this.
All right, SPY starting to push back towards the upside. That ARBE is already up there to 670s. Kind of brought it up at 658s. There's the jump to 680s there, team. This looks like it wants 7. Look at that jump. Boom. ARBE alerted early on there for you guys in the 650s. Now already jumping to the 680s. Could get to that 7 early. And this is a robotics one, right? Why not get a nice little run? We were talking about a move maybe to 7. And then from there, it looks good, clear to 750s. And what I liked about it, it was getting through this high of Wednesday 22, which is 658s. Doesn't look too bad there on that robotic stock.
No, and Awin here working from the list here today. So Awin, really good stuff here. We did come in a little bit towards the end of the pre-market, showed some strength into the VWAP, back tested the VWAP, and then pushed it away on that continued strength here. New highs here on Awin. So if you took a trade from around that VWAP, around that 220 area, definitely peel some of this off here, plus 30 cents on that particular trade. Awin looking like it's going for more. The one thing that I will say here is, remember, this stock has, even today, has shown you that when it sets some of these new highs, it does like to pull back. Another push here from Awin. Really good stuff if folks took this right off the list here. So list working pretty decently here today.
All right. What started the day in the lead is industrials, consumer cyclical, and healthcare. Healthcare getting a nice little push there. So that's going to be where I'm going to be looking for. All these healthcare names starting to jump. We'll see what happens.
And here's that knife I was just trying to warn you about. Literally warned you about that 5 seconds before it happened. When it pushes to new highs, it often comes back in. Now that it's done that, this is good. We want to shake out some of these weak hands, but we don't necessarily want to buy a falling knife. We want to wait for this to confirm its support. Coming back into VWAP now. No reason to be a hero. Let's wait and have this confirm first. Shelly making a big call here. Okay, I'm calling it. Zunaid got kidnapped during the wedding. Okay, I don't think Zunaid is going to get or got kidnapped, so I'm going to take the other end of that bet. Shelly, if you lose, you got to join us here on live trading with a donut and eat it live. Donut of your choice. I will take the bet. What do you say?
I just want the donut.
I know you want the donut. I know I kind of do too, but I really don't need to be eating donuts right now.
You did it to me, man. I'm thinking donuts. That's not good, man. That's not good at all. I'm trying to stay in shape, man.
You and Shelly saying the same thing. Shelly declining the bet because she's trying to stay in shape. So here you go.
I hear you. I'm looking at like medical stocks and medical device stocks right now. I'm looking at MDT on the pullback here. I know that there's someone in the chat that brings this one up often for me. Doesn't look too bad after it popped up above the 83s last in the early February. Now pulling back towards these levels off 83s. I'm looking for a pullback on that one towards the VWAP, which would be around 83.50s, 83.60s. I like MDT on pullbacks. I'll think about that. I just needed to pull back. Set an alert there. If it pulls back, I'll take a look.
Oh, you know what? I didn't put your screen up there.
No, you're good. No worries. I'm just keeping an eye on some SPY pulling back here. We'll see if we start to crack here. That's actually a good outlook there for my Best Buy. Now it's Best Buy starting to come back down towards 83.72. So was able to hang through there with a 15-minute candle, not closing above the 83.54s. You guys can see that right here on the chart. You see how it kind of wicks there. If it comes back to that level, we'll get out. So I set a stop slightly right above that, so I don't even have to worry about it. And if it comes down, hey, it just starts working in our favor. The big thing there is going to be what happens on our SPY now. Do we get this big lift back towards 400? So day trade action, what kind of makes sense for me? I'm looking at like maybe if Google can come right back off these levels back to the upside. It doesn't look too bad, right? Google's been flushed in the last couple of days. If we take a look at this has pretty much been going down about 13.4%. So, I mean, it does have levels to go off of. You can go use Friday's low, 88.64, 88.86. So this is kind of more that day trade back up there if the SPY wants to come up.
FSR came back into the VWAP and is bouncing. Let's see if that ends up getting going here for a second run. LHDX, so this is what we talked about too. Remember, we said we really want to be careful with stocks that are extended, right? So this now has come all the way back to the VWAP, overshot it a little bit, kind of back test it. Let's see if it pushes away from here. 65 spot in question here would be, looks like 78 is the high print, 78 cents. Let's see if LHDX has another run here. Even so, even now with it back testing the VWAP again, please be careful as we're still up 360% here. Oh, looks like Crow's got his eyes on it, folks. Got his eyes on it. Be careful here. If I was trading this right here, again, I'm not going two stocks under $1. If I was trading this here, my stop would be under VWAP. Maybe even if I'm going to give it a little bit more, maybe even make it this low here. Oh, excuse me.
Trying to get in close to 158 on LNG on pullbacks. It's looking strong already. I'm just going to put out an order to see if I get a quick little pullback fill. But I like this LNG chart. And you guys, natural gas traders, who knows? This one doesn't look too bad on the hourly. If we can get it back above 160, I think LNG can really move today. We'll see what happens there.
Now, after that high we set in the pre-market on natural gas, the commodity itself, the actual natural gas futures contract coming back in now, coming back down towards its VWAP. So let's see if it actually holds its VWAP here, if it continues to break down. The natural gas trade has been extremely difficult. I mean, it's difficult all of the time, but recently it's been extremely difficult. If you've been able to make profits in natural gas, feel pretty good about yourself. Not an easy trade.
All right, got to keep watch now. We're starting to get a little bit of a push here. SPY trying to recover off the support. We'll see what happens there. Google looks like it's trying to come back through 89.75 now. Gonna look to see if we take off through 90s on Google. LNG already pushed there. I don't think I'll get the pullback fill there in LNG. It's up to 159.25. That's a VWAP bounce play on LNG. I like the daily outlook too on LNG. If you guys have seen the daily outlook on LNG, look at that inside candle on Friday. Now you want to see it get that through that high of that close. That's 157.50s that closed at 157.50s down here. So where's the high here? It opened around 159.82. Look to see it break through there. And then the high is 160.96. This one does not look bad at all, I think, on the daily outlook, as you got that little pop-up inside day. As long as it doesn't break through those lows, it looks good. Higher lows pattern. Let's see if it breaks through 160. That's where it really gets moving. You see the hourly. This one was interesting. This one was one of my top charts this morning. Just didn't nail it. It's a little bit harder too because it's a little bit more expensive, right? Let's keep that in mind. It's 158. SPY coming back through the middle. That's something to definitely kind of note. That could definitely get some stocks bouncing right back up there. ARBE pulling back to the VWAP as it went to 695s. Didn't get to the 7 though. Kind of like this VWAP pullback.
VWAP pullbacks have been doing good. CFRX. So here's the other one that's interesting. So here, this to me really interesting here. So first of all, CFRX very difficult to trade here. We pushed right out of the gate into an upside halt, came out of the upside halt immediately into a downside halt. So really difficult to do anything with that. Now, since all of that commotion, we actually did come back in and test the VWAP, which lined up with this 530 spot, and we've kind of pushed away from it now. So interesting to see if this is going to keep going. Sure looks like this is trying to curl. You might get your confirmation curl above 576 here, only 15 cents away. So if you're going to trade this here, again, be very careful. Have a plan in case this reverses. Remember, we saw this dance all over the place so far. It has tested VWAP. VWAP tests have been working. Let's see if this ends up working as well. EOSE new highs worth mentioning here. We've been talking a little bit about this. This did first appear on a scanner as a day trade, but we're also starting to get some more context on this being a longer term play. Look at that, Mitch. Again, coming
starter long Google.
All right, let's flip it over to your chart here. Show us what your starter entry trigger was.
All right, so we're starting to come back through that trend line. So it just triggered it in a little bit. Also, what is this SPY doing, right, is more important to me even than what Google's doing. Look how the SPY is starting to recover, looking strong here. And I thought we could get this lift if we can get through the 400. We tested it out the open. Let's see if we clear 400 on this up move. So I already got a little bit of a pullback there in Google that I could add here. I'm going to look for an add. I have right now on Google 89.95. So I want to get in below that. It kind of just tweak to the 90s. But let's see if the SPY just takes out 400. That's going to be also my signal to add to the upside. LNG trying to take out 159.75. If we get the SPY to take 400, I think you'll get that also on LNG. That looks good. Tesla's looking strong. And I can tell because it didn't pull back to the VWAP. Again, it just stayed on this little range here. This is bottom left chart that you see here. So that doesn't look too bad. ARBE bouncing off that VWAP. That CFRX did look good off that 530. We'll see what happens there. Now I'm getting a little bit of a pullback in Google here. I can go ahead and add to this pullback here at the bottom and then look to see if the SPY takes out 400. That's going to be the signal on the upside action there. Just got one more add there at the 88s. So then I can now look for it to start reversing back. Don't want to give another add here. I want to control the risk on the downside. So I just got one more add here on the pullback, right? Now what I want to see is, does it hold this as a body close right back up through 90s? That's going to be the takeout move to the upside. SPY would be wanting to get up here towards this 400. So this bottom right chart, we're looking for the candle to get through that level right there. That's going to be that nice upside action.
I do have a potential swing that I'm waiting for, Mitch. We can talk about this again on one of your swing trading shows. I know I still got to join that, but I do want to give it to this group here as well. I want to talk about a potential trade. Now, I'm not in this yet because I'm actually still kind of waiting for my entry here. This is Ideal Power, IPWR. And a couple of things. First of all, I definitely want this to come back into 10. If you take a look at the chart here, this 10 level has been really, really good support and resistance. And it looks like this is rolling over and coming back in towards that level anyway. So I think any buy around 10 here is going to be a pretty good one. The technology here is pretty good, and this is a thing behind the thing trade when it comes to EVs. Should make the batteries more efficient. One of the things that you can look for here on Ideal Power is any type of PR or news relating to deals with car companies. Car companies going to use their chip for XYZ, this and that. If they start name dropping, that's generally going to be a pretty good sign. So I have no idea when that's going to happen or anything, so I can't possibly trade around it. Instead, what I'm going to try to do is identify a key point on the chart, and for me, that's going to be $10. This stock comes in towards $10. I'm definitely going to look to add a little bit here for a potential trade. I would say I'd put a stop beneath $8, maybe seven-ish dollars there if it doesn't work. So $3 a downside, hoping for a double up on the upside to 20. So potential swing trade, IPWR. I'm giving it to you before I've even filled my own position. I am not in this right now, looking to add here if we can get down to 10.
All right, looking for this to kind of get that up move. Are we going to get to 400 run? We went to 397 right to the key. So let's see if we get back there through the 400 on the SPY. That'd be upside action here coming in. We'll see if we get that lift.
I see the chat talking about OCEA. OCEA. Someone made a call on this, apparently. I must have missed that. Apologize to all of you. If we take a look at the OCEA chart, we did move here. Unsure what the entry trigger was. I guess if you'd taken this out, 955, still would have been a little put off by this 1028 area here, right in here. This is moving here. Remember, this one, that 8 consecutive upside halts on this was what, Thursday? Just an absolute monster move here on Thursday. Looking like it's gearing again. Be careful if you trade this one. Currently crossing the 11 handle here.
That ARBE did nice little VWAP bounces back in the 680s. That one looks interesting to crack 7. And then we'll look to see if that gets moving. SPY back right towards 400, hit 401 here. Looking to add some more Google if we start pushing through the 90s here. And then through 90, we'll look for that nice push back towards 90.25. I'll take some out there. And then look for the push towards 90.40. Take the money and run.
SATX here. SATX here pushing, going through 140. Nice little formation, not a whole lot of movement. Entry trigger probably, just looking at this, entry trigger would have been 138. So we're really only up 4 cents from there. Let's see if this can actually move towards this 155 high. SATX worth watching. at least for the time being.
All right, there you go. Google above 90s here, team. Going to look to sell majority of it towards the 25s. I'm going to put out majority of it at the 23s there, 90 23s. I'll take majority of it out and then look for the push towards the 90 40s. SPY above the 400s. That looks good for bullish action. So if you're looking for stocks to kind of get a little push, I'd also look for Microsoft. That was on my radar, but I'd just like Google a little bit more from the intraday chart. But top left chart is going to be for Microsoft move there. We're in the 90.08s, about to push it through. When we get to 90.15, I'm going to put out my order there and try to get that filled on the up action there on Google. Tesla pushing through the 206. Nice little hold of that little wick through towards 204. So that's around your VWAP level. That looks like your support right now for Tesla. And it could continue moving today as the SPY moves through the 400 now to 430s. There's 413s showing up on the Google. Let's look for a nice little push now to 425s. I'm going to look to sell most of it. LNG, one of my top plays today. Look at that little push now. I'm glad I brought that chart up earlier. You're up in the 161s now. I hope somebody was able to nail the LNG chart. We talked about LNG chart also on, of course, Market Structure Mondays with Tim Quast. It was looking good on Market Structure Edge. It looked good on the chart for me. Conviction. We'll see what happens.
And we've been talking about natural gas for several weeks now. So all of those charts should be fairly familiar. Really quickly here, Mitch, and I'll throw it back to you. AMAM, getting a question here by Moore's Lion in the chat. What do you guys think of AMAM? Well, first of all, Crow already given you a little bit here. Crow, appreciate the assist, by the way. AM is on my watch list here. Easy run coming. So I'm not going to go as far as Crow as to say that there's an easy run coming, but he's on to something here. It sure looks like this wants to push higher. I think a move through 5 and we probably retest 6. We've actually traded this a couple of times recently off of the relative volume scanner when it had this multi-day run here on pretty good volume. And when we look at it today, you can see we're kind of drifting up here, kind of right at the sideways level where we were at from last week. And that is pretty much, right before that we had this huge run up to 7. So totally possible that we get another run here. First move is obviously going to be to 6. We did have some consolidation around that 6 area, so I would not be shocked to see this run into some resistance before taking the next leg up to 7. As far as the actual company and the fundamentals, haven't done enough of a deep dive to really give you any type of opinion that would be worth anything. However, we've seen this trade recently off of the scanner that we're using here today, and it sure looks like it's gearing up again. So I think Crow might be on to something. We might have a pop here in the near future. Again, just as always, if you're going to take something that's speculative like this, make sure you have a plan in case it doesn't work. Make sure you have a plan for that downside. Don't get caught in any of these on hopes and dreams. That's gonna ruin you. And by the way, LHDX, here's that penny play that we were taking a look at. Let me flip over to the 1-minute chart. That's how we were looking at it before. You can see what it did, right? It came back into VWAP, tried to go, but really didn't have the strength. Now we're rolling back over to that VWAP. Keep this one on watch. I wouldn't be surprised if this comes back in and retraces some of that move here today.
Shop going down to the 40s today. It hasn't been doing that great on the day. Could be a little reversal around the 40s there. How is ARKK? ARKK is right around the VWAP. We'll see if some growth names actually come back on the day. Zoom reports after the bell. You see Zoom moving today. You guys know why. That's heavily shorted. Still in the Google. Keeping an eye out on that. That ARBE did get up there to the 7. I'm sure there was a seller waiting there. It went right to 7 and the seller hit. I saw the volume just jump as soon as it went there. Look to see if you take out that wall of a seller at 7 on ARBE. I think that one could keep going. I'm even looking at the CFRX. I've been thinking about if it can get back through 530s. It doesn't look too bad to risk off of 5, right? You're risking 30 cents for a move back to 6. That's a 70-cent move. That doesn't look too bad. I'd sell some at 6. Look for the big move towards 7. That's about $2, right? Or about $1.70 on the gains. That would be a nice big move. We'll see what happens. It's right now close to that level as you're seeing it recover here. It doesn't look too bad to recover the VWAP. So instead of just talking about that one, let's try to grab a little bit of shares here. All right, trying to get a little bit. There you go. I got a little bit at 528. Going to risk off of here, off this low 507. So about 505 will be my risk here on this. We'll look to see if we get it back up through the 530s and it pushes. Google now starting to make that move. SPY going a little bit higher here. So if Google can get towards the 923s, I can take some profit and then look for this to actually push as buyers step back up into the VWAP. That looks good now off of the 90s. ARBE coming back to 7. Let's see if we take out those 7 buyers or the 7 sellers.
Tesla pushing to new highs here. Sorry, I'm checking out Twitter here to see if I can find anything else that's going on.
All right, Google, come on. Get up there, Google. Get up. Also keeping an eye out on that CFRX.
Something is wrong. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Okay, I can. Everything's like locked up on my computer. I can't click on anything.
No worries. You'll be all right, man. You just take a second. If you need to back out, you can back out.
Yeah, I can't even though do that though. Can you put me backstage real quick?
Yeah, I got you, my friend. Boom. All right, looking to sell some here of some Google as we're getting through that 23s. Kind of missed it right now that we were just there. We got to 24s. So looking for that push there. Boom, just got some there. Not bad. Taking a little bit of that Google off, about 3/4 of it. Now I'm going to keep the rest of it for it to keep pushing on Google. Not bad from 89.90s now towards 90.25s. We'll look to see if it gets towards 90.40s. That's where I'm going to take the next profit. And then it could keep pushing to 90.50s. Google not looking too bad of a reversal from that bottom action. We'll see what happens there. All right, now let's let that kind of work and just really start pushing here on Google. We'll look to see if the SPY can keep pushing. If the SPY does reverse, we could take the profits and run. But right now, the SPY is pushing strong. So we're going to look for this to continue. That CFRX, we're going to look for a push through the 530s for it to continue to the upside. That's my other day trade on. And then I have some other trades that are going on. Caterpillar, I did get stopped out on. I thought that could happen today. That one I definitely got caught in. So swing trade got hit there. But Google going a little bit higher here, looking good. Now 90.26. And one thing that I liked is that pullback where we went back to 90s on the 3-minute. That's what I'm on. You can go to the 5-minute too. It looks good holding 90 pullbacks now. We'll look to see it continue strong. All right, Canara brand's not looking too bad on the day. There's CFRX now above towards the 536. Let's see if we can actually get a little bit of a run here. And it starts holding the VWAP. VWAP is 528s. So maybe 520 on pullback. Wouldn't we even want to see it crack the 520s? There's 521 showing up, 522s. I'll look to see if the buyers step in here and then comes driving back through the 530s. All right, looking around, see other trades, see how those are working in. Best Buy, of course, is going to be on my mind later, but it's still just hanging in there. Don't have to stress about it. I set a stop on that. What's going on out there, Dan? How we doing? I'm seeing many Tesla unusual options activity, orders and puts, but Tesla keeps going up. Any connection there? I'm not sure, but I'll tell you one thing. Definitely keep it on watch. It was a really strong stock, and I can tell you right there because look at this chart. Look how it didn't even pull back the VWAP here. It's just been strong on the day. I would not get in front of that anytime soon. And you guys know I like to short Tesla. This looks like a strong daily move back up, recovering the 9 EMA, and could break through 212 even today. So just be careful out there with Tesla. This looks strong. And if anything, I'd be looking for pullbacks opportunities off the 204 area. We'll look to see what happens on that one. All right, am I going to get the run in CFRX? It's pulled back enough to give me that run. Now it just needs to get back up above the 530s. See if we get it or not, team. We can go to a 1 minute. Bum, bum, bum. Will we get the move, team? Really looking for around this level to kind of hold here. 512s. Let's get it back up through. VWAP is at 530s. We'll look to see what happens on that one. All right, keep going, team. What else is out there? SQM and UE. Paul, metals moving up. Hey, nice catch, Laura. Google pushing higher. Going to keep watching that one. LNG's pulling back a little bit, just to mention that. There's ARBE. This was one that I alerted earlier that I had some alerts set. Now we're through the 7. We're towards 710. We got through the 7 seller. Let's look for this one to continue. Look at that bunch up volume that it just got through the 7. Definitely blew through that seller. Now let's see if it actually can make that big run up. 4-hour chart has a high there towards 761. Let's see if we run to it and start pushing. All right, Google not looking too bad now towards 90.30s. Can it get to the 90.40s? We can take a little bit off there and just continue to let this run. All right, here's 90.40 showing up. Boom, just took a little bit there off 90.39s. Now we let this continue to work, taking profits at the selected spots, right? We took right below 923s, now 940s. Now it's just going to be about if the SPY can continue pushing, we can stay in this Google trade, and it can even become a swing for me. So now not looking too bad at all, especially on the day trading action. Got to stop out on the swing trading action, but that's how it is, different hats. And I got to keep that in mind. Got to roll the sleeves up. It's one of those days, team. Pinky up. Let's go. I could see the price action today on that reversal from the SPY, and we came back for that 400. So things looking strong. How did Microsoft do? Microsoft back to 250, 250. That doesn't look too bad there. Tesla, nice little push there to 207.50s. What's going on in oil today? How's XOM? Recovering XOM. Oxy also recovering. Remember, Oxy has earnings today after the bell. What's going to happen there? Will it recover 60s today? Keep it on watch. CFRX might stop me out here through the 5s. If it hits 5s, I have a little stop there. Stop limit through the kind of 505 spots here. We'll look to see what happens.
Sorry about that, Mitch. I think I got my computer all fixed up.
Yeah, you got it back, my friend.
I think so. Just refreshing pro at this point.
Yeah, it happens, man. We'll see what happens. I'm looking at Archer Daniel to see if that can stay strong. That's one of my swings out there. Canara brand's in the green today. That's not looking too bad. We'll see if that can stay strong there. And just looking at this Google. This Google was a really nice trade. Now starting to pull back. So I got to be careful about the SPY pulling back here. Don't want to let it come back below the 400s. So if the SPY cracks the 400 spot, I'm just going to take my money and run on, of course, Google trade. We'll see what happens. If it can hold 400, I think we can keep pushing. Let's see what happens. Let's go. All right, let's get back to the sectors. I'll put you up if you'd like.
I was just going to say CFRX looks a little heavy here. It looks like it's trying to roll over. This one kind of nasty.
Yeah, I mean, 530s is still the VWAP, 527, so it's not too far at least.
It's really not. Yeah,
I took a little shot there, so I have like a really small piece in it at 528. Looking to see if it can recover 530s. I have the 5 will get me out, so just keep that in mind. Right?
Carvana here acting squeezy, just completely vertical on buying information or on buying volume. We still the thing here about Carvana, 85+% of its float is shorted, but it is only 1.7 days to cover. So some of these short rallies or these rallies here might be short-lived.
I was looking at AMC today for the cocaine bear.
Oh, is that why AMC is? I'll be honest.
It's the cocaine bear, bro. It's the cocaine bear move,
I'll be honest. That seems like a funny idea. I mean, that's not going to be enough to drive me to an AMC theater, just saying. However, I have seen people talking about it, and so far it seems like it's pretty decent reviews in terms of it being a funny movie.
Hey, setup is holding the 630 pullback pretty well on the 15-minute. You look at this little chart. This does not look bad. If I just traded it technically just off of this, I would like to hold like this pullback here towards around, let's say, like 620s. Risk off of that kind of 620 level, looking for a push back to 650s. The big resistance is up here towards around 668s. So keep that in perspective, right? That's about, 30 cents from where we are. But if you're risking only about 15 cents, 30 cents, that's 2-to-1 risk right now in AMC to the upside. Doesn't look too bad. I know that it actually had good numbers, believe it or not. Some people went to go see that cocaine bear.
I mean, it's an original idea. Just, I don't know.
It's based on a true story.
Which to me is, I mean, that's just,
we bring up the weird stuff here in live trading with Benzinga. We try to have some personality to the show, right, guys? Smash the like, guys, if you guys enjoying it out there. We're having a good time.
So this is kind of my reaction, based lightly on a true story. Lightly. Pablo Escobar.
The only thing I'm scared of is if after this they start trying to get these cocaine bears. That would scare me. I'll tell you one thing. Bears are enough, man. And if you've never seen a bear, like actually in the wild, that's not something you want to see.
No, I mean.
All right, SPY pulling back there. What's going to happen? We're going to come and crack the 400. I'm keeping an eye out there. It's one of those days. That ARBE did not look too bad. It's still hanging in the 7s. XOM coming back maybe for a pullback to VWAP. That's interesting for you oil players out there.
Market's strong here, not reversing at all yet.
I'm starting to stop watching SLB, the Slumber J, and I think that's when it likes to come back. So we'll see what happens.
You don't want any more of your Slumberger, huh, Mitch?
Oh, no more. So out of that CFRX there, team, down to the 5s. It's out. A little cut there. Just take a little tiny shot just to see if it was going to come back. And it could come back. I mean, look how it recovers there at 5. But like always, team, you got to know what your risk and reward is and what makes sense.
Chill Ones saying, I live in Montana. I've seen some bears. Chill Ones, just so you're aware, I am trying to move to Montana. That is my goal. That is going to be my forever home. So I am really, really looking forward to that. Would love to hear what area you live in and what you would recommend for people traveling to Montana. Got to get that done here this year.
Shop with that reversal off that 40. So whoever talked about shop at 40s, not too bad. If you were able to nail that, we'll see. LLAP says the crow.
Oh, big. Yeah, LLAP, big pop here. Right through 282.
Oh, now you want to go LLAP? Come on, man. Come on. You're killing me, Smalls.
Right through 282. Look at this level. Look at the level. This was marked off. These levels were marked off prior to this move here. Goes right through it, right to 321. If you are able to catch that, awesome stuff. This is why, Crow has been saying this too, but we've been saying it all the time. This is why you want to keep a lot of these on your watch list. I go through this all the time where I take something off the screen and then I forget about it and then I come back to it after the move. What I've been doing, again, writing tickers down on a notepad. If you can do that, just something to remind you to come back to it. LLAP, great example of this. We actually already have the levels identified for LLAP. Good stuff.
There you go.
Don saying, I've spent a lot of time in Montana when I used to live in Alberta. It's a beautiful state. You're not kidding, man. I want to be able to look. I want to wake up in the morning, look out my window and see a mountain range. And if there's snow out there, even better. Crows, don't forget. Caw, baby. Let's go.
Caw.
I had to. Big Ryan got some Yellowstone fever. Man, Will, let me tell you something. Those mountains out west, give me some space in my mountains. That's all I need.
Yeah, at least Montana's still relatively cheap. Colorado just got too expensive, man.
Montana's got real expensive. Wyoming's the cheap state out there, but no Costco's.
No Costco's in Wyoming.
Hey, man, I did my homework.
Yeah, Wyoming. I don't know if I could do Wyoming. My thing is I'm too far from sports. I need some type of sports.
You're never too far from your TV. Urban Farm says, Ryan, Siberia is nice this time of year. All right, Urban Farms, tell us how you really feel, because I'm not going to Siberia.
Don't sign him up. Boy's trying to get to the West.
AMA, about to pop. Let's see. Let's watch it. I just type it.
Can Google keep going?
Let's see if it can pop above this 520 area.
LNG with a
AMAM.
nice pullback. Will Nvidia come back to the upside? Nvidia cracked VWAP there. Just keeping an eye out there. What's going on, team? How we doing? Maine?
Yeah, I've heard this too. I've heard this too about Idaho. I've definitely heard really, really good things about Idaho as well.
Idaho. Man. You guys are naming the states that don't get the most attention, right?
There's a reason for that, Mitch.
Fisker getting strong with it today. Yeah, nice little VWAP bounce from 880.
Fisker is getting strong with it today. I did not think I would hear that today, but here we are. LAP, by the way, popped above. LAP might be trying to go more here.
Uh-oh. Fisker moving there. Lucid moving. Tesla staying strong. Tesla staying strong,
Tesla
team.
right near the highs here today.
That's helping the SPY stay strong too. Remember, when if our leadership is going to stay strong, well, guess what? We can keep pumping, team. Look at Apple today. Bottom left chart. Boom. That's pretty strong trend, right?
Fisker CEO on CNBC as we speak right now, by the way. So just keep that in mind. I can't hear what he's saying. I can't hear what he's saying, but he's giving an interview right now on CNBC. Oh, Dow.
Tell him to give me an ocean. Tell him to give me an ocean. I want one.
VIX crushed. Bitcoin back above 24K.
SPY holding that 401, pushing strong. When we coming back to 400, that's what I think we got to kind of figure out here.
Nice job, Will. Nice job, Will. Welcome back, Mitch.
Markets.
Will getting it done out here today. Good stuff, man. Pat yourself on the back. Get yourself a steak for dinner, my man.
Tappy markets, man. I have that feeling we're going back to the chop zone. SPY just looks a little toppy here, but see how many, look at the 5 minutes, how it's just holding up the 401.12 here.
So Sydney giving us the newsprint here. Benzinga says Lockheed might acquire Terran Orbital. So just to kind of tie a bow on that newsprint. First of all, Terran Orbital is LAP, which we're talking about. Went to go look at that right here. This is actually we did repost this line. This is from Deal Reporter here. Watching Terran Orbital, hearing Lockheed Martin was named by the sector advisors as a likely acquirer of Terran Orbital. So again, keep in mind the source here is Deal Reporter. We are reporting it. Sydney's absolutely right. Source here is Deal Reporter. Sometimes these Deal Reporter things don't necessarily go through, but this is where that's coming from. We will see if anything else materializes from this. Good spot, Sydney.
Yeah, I like pullbacks to 3 on LLAP, but that's if you get the opportunity, right? It's at 324. There's multiple tops on top wicks. So what does that show me? There's a little bit of selling pressure up here. I'd like for a little bit of a pullback towards like the VWAP 297.3 right now, and then a nice little takeoff. But that's LLAP. All right, back to SPY. SPY did pull back down there, rejected that kind of 5-minute move. We could see it. It was just rejecting 401.12s. It could pull back all the way to the VWAP 400 here. So I just got to determine if I'm just going to take my Google money and run. That's what I got to determine here, team. So just figuring it out here to see if the SPY is going to keep coming down through this low here of 473. We're testing it right now. I think we could just be in chop. That's the hard part of trading, especially as of late, right? The chop action, right? We don't get many continuation moves. Daily on the SPY, we're back there towards the highs here. They could act around the 401.20 area. So Yeah, I think we're going to come back into the chop zone if we crack the 73. So we'll keep watch right now to see if we crack that 73s. But it's looking like we might cut it. Going to give it a chance, but then I'll just get out on the Google trade. Got to keep balancing today. It's not just going to be one way, right? Tesla could pull back. If I see Tesla pull back, it'd be towards around 204. But that's held the strength. Look at this trend line that it keeps holding. It's just like pull back to the 9, now reloading back up at 207. Tesla's been a strong one today. That's for sure. Look, Apple, same thing, high trend, right? Do you break this trend is what I'm kind of looking at right now. Microsoft looks a little bit more toppy. You can see what? Multiple highs in this area, right? Stock rejects once, stock rejects twice. Third area, now fourth rejection. Not what you want to see there for Microsoft. That to me looks more like a pullback to 251.
AM potential blast off here if it clears out 525, and then also a win. So okay, sorry, I just covered two steps. The stock that I have on the screen here is a win. G2G saying a win curling. You got it, man. Curling back up towards that VWAP. We expect it to slow down here, but maybe a pop through here for AM. Again, we're watching the exact same level, still watching that 525 level. That's going to be your high of day print. It's banging up against this. You get a move through that 525 with a bigger volume stick here. That should be risk on here. The other thing you can do to watch this is watch the level 2 in your broker. If you see big, or the time in sales, I should say, if you see big transactions come across the tape here, it might go. We'll see if we end up getting that here on AM.
So what I did for Google there is I set a stop for me on the first profit. So that was 922. So if I cut through 922s again, I'm just going to take the money and run. And that's the SPY cutting back through 470 area for me. We'll see what happens there. If we come back through 401.12s, that's where we can continue to the upside. All right, what's up out there? Coin, hanging on a thread. I mean, the thing about coin that it has for today is that it's a momentum type of play. And you've seen some momentum plays be active, right? Carvana was active. That doesn't even look too bad there. You're seeing some of these other plays be active, right? Just keep that in mind.
Here's what I got on coin, Mitch. Tell me what you think about this. So the last time we took it coin, I did a daily chart and I basically drew this triangle here. And I'm waiting for coin to break out of this triangle. Now, the interesting part here is actually we could do this today. But what we'd really need for this is we'd actually need a break above this line and then a close above that line. We'll see if we end up getting that. If we zoom in here to the 1 minute chart and I back out, I change the vertical axis here, you can see we're actually fairly close to this, about $1 away from this. Let's see if coin has that strength. Again, we don't just want to pierce this line. We want to move above and close above that line. That might signal the next move here is up. That's what I got on coin.
Doesn't look too bad.
No, it doesn't. And it looks like this triangle, whichever direction it goes, this triangle is going to resolve soon. That's for sure what it looks like.
That ARBE reloading right underneath 7 looks good to continue moving. That LLAP looks like it just wants to hold around the 330 area. So it's just staying strong there. That's not a bad outlook to look at. Above the 330s, I'd look for pullbacks, but that's up to you, right? If you want to buy the high. SPY still staying strong, so I would keep looking at that. An interesting one that's weak today is NVIDIA. Didn't expect to see NVIDIA get weak, and you are seeing it reject a little bit here. It could pull back to the trend line around 234, but that's not a common play that I'm seeing right now. So I'm looking around to see what's going to get a little bit of a bounce here if we come back up. AMD looks interesting maybe. It's coming back through 79.25s back towards 80. If the SPY can continue going to the upside, if you feel we can continue pushing, that's one that you can look at. Zoom off the VWAP. Interesting play. It does have earnings today. Of course, I would only day trade it, but it doesn't look too bad off this VWAP. If you think we're going to push a little higher here.
Bitcoin looking like it's got some more strength here. Bitcoin looking like it wants to go higher.
Well, Mara's off the VWAP. If you want to take a look at that, that doesn't look too bad for a recovery style play off the hourly. 725s would be kind of a target to the upside. Looking around, team. What else we got out there? Google tried to make a move back towards the highs here on a 15-minute candle. Want to see it get closed on a 15-minute above 90.45. If that's going to show us that we can continue just letting this run. MOS, really good one to keep an eye out. I actually have this alerted for above 54.30s, threes. This doesn't look too bad here now that we're starting to push away from the 50s. MOS, nice one mentioned in the chat there, EKS. I like that one. That's the top left chart here. You can see on the daily, I started drawing around 50, 54s. That looks really nice. That we cleared Friday's high, 51.75, and now you're already to 53. So that one really does look strong. I'd look for pullbacks myself in the next couple of days towards like 52.50. So I'm going to actually put an alert there at 58s, 52.58s. Pull back towards that 52. I wouldn't mind risking off of down here towards like maybe 51 or 50. I like that idea, EKS. That's not a bad one to keep your eye out.
AM going here. We did move through that level.
You're looking at NTR easy, or a similar style play. Yep, you could see it. Not too bad also. I like that play too. Look at the weekly and monthly off of that one. Really nice levels off the weekly. And what does this show me more? Kind of that bottoming action that I look for, right? You guys hear me talk about the rule of three often. Look how this stands out to me. So clear, right? You get this three, right? It looks like it wants to break this, right? And then you get this attempt right here on this week where you broke down through it, but recovered. When I look for that recovery action, now I know I can risk off of that level around 72.50, looking for that move back up. And if you can break through the trend line here, back towards the upside, that's not looking too bad there for a move back towards 89, 90s, and maybe even 100 in reach.
Yep. So our chat hitting it here real quick just to kind of cover this. This was the last thing that we were looking for was the move here on AM through 525. Now we did end up getting it in this window here. So I got a 1 minute candle here. This is the 1027 window. It was our first candle of bigger volume that actually took us through 525. We are getting a little bit more volume. Want to see this continue to expand. As you can see, price coming all the way back in now. That's not what we wanted. 525 was the break point. Do we end up punching beneath that, or do we kind of bounce off of that? That test coming right up here. They just brought in a little bit of a bid there. They're trying to walk it up. So let's see if we end up getting this. What we wanted to see here was some more expanding volume and a push higher. Still fairly decent trade on that 525 break. We outlined that ahead of time too.
All out the Google trade SPY coming back. I'm starting to see that the chop's coming in, team. So be careful out there. Chop coming into play. Chops in play, team. Chops in play. All right, let's see what else we got today. Nice pullback here. Now LNG looking a little bit heavy with the SPY coming back down, but you are back below the VWAP towards 158 on LNG if you're looking at that style play. Now I'm going to just start taking things a little bit slower as we're starting to get a little bit of a change in trend and see if we continue in that motion or do we go into a chop pullback action. So SOXS even looks like an interesting play here for me off the VWAP because now it's starting to reverse, right? You could get the chop right back up. And I did see AMD take a downturn, NVIDIA take a downturn. So that's why it also is interesting for me on this pullback for SOXS. See if we get back a move towards 70 here.
Kathy Wood on CNBC right now, by the way.
The
might affect
Woods.
some of the other stocks being traded.
The Woods. All right, looking at this pullback here for SOX S. Got to look at the other charts too while I'm watching this, because I need this SPY to come to 400 if we're going to get this move. Back above 4.1s would squeeze me out of the trade immediately. There's already a little bit of a pullback action there for SOX S. It's bouncing a little bit. So just looking for a little bit more pullback towards this 2170s. But it is bouncing off the 75 here. Hourly levels to move back towards 2191s. Getting that bounce right now, but I'm looking for the slight little pullback to 70s. But with the SPY coming down fast like that, we might not even get this pullback to 70s. I might have to step up here in the 80s if I want to step up. So with the SPY pulling back right now, let's see if we can get it. I just need a slight wick to 71s, 70 area, and I'll take that. Not getting it, but we are getting a little bit of reversal action there. So you could also look maybe SQQQ if that one makes sense here. It is getting off the bottom. I actually like that SQQQ move back up through the 38s. How's Tesla doing? Big pullback there, 206.50s. Not doing too bad. NVIDIA is the one that's coming down fast. AMD starting to get a little bit of a bounce there off the 79s. SPY still holding the 400, so we really haven't really pulled back too much. There's that pullback for SOX S. See if we can get it right now. All right, just grabbed a little bit there at 74s. Got to be careful because we could get a little bit of a VWAP test back towards 63s. So I won't add right here unless I get back towards closer towards that VWAP. So we got 73 right here on the pullback to the trend line. It's called a throwback look, right? So I'm getting in on the throwback. I couldn't catch it on the breakout. Trying to catch it on the throwback. There's a SPY back down towards the 400. So I'm looking for the breakdown. No background music, Mitch. I know. I'm sorry. I'm lost in the sauce today, team. I got you. I got you. Lost in the sauce. Let's get some. There's a nice little look. Let's see if we can get above the 2185 towards 2190s. Then I think we can get to 22s. We'll sell some at 22s. There's a nice breakout. Boom, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Get that money. Come on. Let's see. Let's get it up there. Look at the SPY cut down there. Boom. We're at the 2190s here.
Alexa saying, Ryan, any thoughts on MPC above 125? So that's, of course, Marathon Petroleum. Now, I know that there's some discussions here about oil and energy prices and all of that. Real quick, just to kind of Dan, no, I did not see that report that you're referring to regarding the crude oil meeting. But in any case, with energy prices here. So first of all, in this Marathon chart, if we're taking a look at this, this looks pretty good, right? This looks like a pretty good trend that's intact here. To me, it sure looks like this actually wants to move through maybe 130 and then go for those all-time highs here at 137. Are those all-time highs? Did I just misspeak? No, those are all-time highs. So sure looks like that's what it wants to do. The other thing here is that this could actually trade sideways around this level. You could even use 130 as resistance and then the bottom of this trend as the bottom side support. And you could kind of compress into that area. So first of all, above 125, yeah, I mean, looking pretty good here. Looks like it wants to go higher, but we'll see if it ends up doing that. I would use, if you're trading this in the near term, I would say I would use this against this green trend line that I just plopped on here. Good stuff though, Alexa. Good spot there on MPC.
All right, team. Just sold a good portion of my socks S there in the 90s. We're way up there towards
Nice trade, Mitch.
94. That's not looking too bad from 21.74 now. Just going to let it break through the 22s. And there we go.
Nice.
There's the SPY right back down. I could feel the topping action here. Started going for what? Trade the chop versus trade the breakout. And that actually helped me sell my Google and jump on the socks S here, back up towards 22s. Now back above 22 and 21.90s. Now what I'm going to do is actually 21.90s is going to be the pullback level. I want to see this hold. So I'm going to put an actual stop at the 21.88s and just let the rest of it work on the day. Let's see if this can push a little bit higher. SPY reacted hard to the downside. So we're looking for, do we take out the lows right now in the intraday? That's 399.09. If we take out 399.09, then I can hold 399 as the turnaround there for success also, right? We'll look to see if we get back to 400. 400 is upside action. Below 400s, I think we could still play some of the chop to the downside as we get success to push here. It's right now back towards 21.92s. Could stop me through that 21.88s. And I'm okay with taking the profits and running. One thing I don't want to do in this market is just be mad because I get stopped out. Like right there, boom. Took the money and run. Could I got stop hunted? Yeah, that's okay. But to tell you the truth, I'm okay with getting it as long as I'm taking profits into these pushes. So there, just took both profits into the 21.90 area, and I'm okay with that. That's just a bang in, bang out trade. Took the money and run, and that's this type of market.
I was going to say, Mitch, selling into strength, never a bad idea. If this comes back in and finds a support, you can always rebuy it and wash, rinse, and repeat. Do the same thing again. So definitely sell into momentum. Great job on that trade there, my man.
Yeah, I've been trying to trade more the chop, and I don't like trading chop, team. I don't want to see chop. I like continuation patterns.
You got to trade what the market gives you, though. You can't, that's what we're all doing here. It's what the market gives us. That's what we're going to end up trading.
That's for sure, team. We'll see what happens now as we start getting a nice little push there. Stocks S back up towards 22.05. This could keep running, right? Breakdown of the 399s. Look how you're getting really close to that level now. There's the SPY through the 399s, but then it holds it. So that's how we know it's nice and important level to watch, right? Earlier, you went to 399.08. Let's see if we actually close on a 5-minute basis below 399s. That could keep going with that type of trade. Another thing you can look at now is, if I wanted to, I could look at semis to short, right? Did Microsoft start coming back down? Look at that. Remember we talked about here when we were topping at the 252s, how it looked like a 251 move back down? Boom, we got it in that Microsoft. It went right back down there. 4 tops means a lot of times pull back to support in my eyes. That's exactly what played out there in Microsoft. 4 attempts to get through. A lot of times we're just going to get a test to the other side of these levels. That's not a bad outlook there. Did Google come right back down? Yeah, right back through my entry. So that would have stopped me out break even regardless. And we took some more profits getting out at 90.22 versus getting out at break even 89.90s. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at what else is going on. Did Tesla pull back those 204s yet?
Yep.
No, I'm at 205.
Sorry.
205. No worries. We're close. We're close to VWAP, right? I wanted to see slight below VWAP, like an attempt to take out people that buy out at VWAP and then see the reversal come back. That would be playing the chop, right? The SPY cut down through the lows, and then all of a sudden the SPY wants to come back to the highs. Well, we'll see what happens there. LLAP setting up again. That's actually not a bad look, right? We talked about 3 being the buy spot on there. I like that pullback to 302s, right?
308 VWAP too.
Yeah, I like that level because at least now it makes sense to come in here. If you're feeling that rumor is true and you can get the buy out here, well, it doesn't look too bad here on LLAP.
AWIN possibly setting up on a move through 220 here as well. That's AWIN. There it goes. There it goes. 2 cents through. Let's see if it keeps pushing here on AWIN.
Thinking about this LLAP, doesn't look too bad on the daily either. That's a move back up through 340s. I'm tempted and let LLAP. Remember last week I got out of this one for a really tiny gain when I was up like 40 cents multiple times below the I think I had like 280s and I was getting out I was trying to get out through 340s and it wasn't doing it. There's success through 207. It's tempting. It's tempting. I'll tell you that much. You can see the volume coming back in it a little bit here towards the threes as people start trying to build a wall here around the 298s. What I would like is now a little cut where it gets like to 295, 293s, and then a quick recovery through 3. I always look to try to get that little cut down buy and then just make sure that you know where your risk is. SPY down, cuts through the 398.90s. So right now, if I wanted to play chop, another thing could be right now kind of going for like a stocks L type of trade, right? That could be a play too, right? I could sell it right back, right? It's trying to get right back into the hourly range. That's around 1450s. So stocks L could hold 1450s, yesterday's range, and then work its way right back to 1480s. Right? Doesn't look too bad there. Look how the SPY is trying to recover right now. It's interesting. The chop play is almost like it makes sense now. And it's harder. It's harder for me to do. I got to admit. It's not easy.
You know, this movement that we're seeing here in the SPY, this is exactly why watching these ETFs has been such a good move for us recently, because there's plenty of liquidity, plenty of move. I mean, this morning, we look at the market this morning. When I woke up, everything was green. Right? Futures were green right out of the open. Everything was green. And now here we are reversing. This is giving us one of the better trades of the day, or trade setups of the day here. So, by the way, AWIN pushed as high as 230 here. Nice little 10-cent move through that 220 spot that we talked about. This might not be done either. AWIN, write this on your paper or on your list here. You might get a push later in the day here.
All right, gonna look for this cut down and reversal here for LLAP. We just put an indecision candle in, and I like that indecision candle. I'm looking for slightly tweaks down below here. So what I'm gonna do here is start setting up some orders here, slightly below it for pullback fills here. See if we can get it here, team. Looking at that LLAP action. I also like that SOX L off the 1450s, and we just went down to 1452. Yeah. So I like that little kind of reversal cut down. Makes you think that you're going to break down. Now you got to kind of, I would hold off 52s even. There you guys see I'm getting a little bit of a piece there. I'm getting some LLAP right now. 297s can still add here on this pullback. Looking for as much as 293s. The next buy I have is 293s. And then I can let it go to 290s, and I'll take a second to assess there. Don't want to see a cut down through 275s, right? So just got to be really quickly here. Just got a little setup there. Average 297. Got about 2 buys out of the 5 that I can do on LLAP. Just going to keep my eyes on that. And could play the SPY reversal back to the upside towards 400. Just got to keep watch. Really, the 399 level is going to be very key here.
I was going to say, it looks like it's trying to bounce here, but not yet. It's still showing
testing
weakness.
Testing.
Yeah, testing it. Yep.
Yeah, it makes one thing to keep in mind. I think this market loves to pressure both sides, right? Dennis was talking about it as we closed up pre-market prep. I think it tests bulls and bears.
Yeah,
this market loves to do it.
It's shaking people out, which almost makes me think that we got another move coming here. Yeah. Is it going to be an up move or a down move? That's really the question.
We went down on LLAP to 296 there. We'll see what happens there. Swing trade or day trade on LLAP. This is going to be more day trade style. If for any reason it just makes a move to, like, let's say like an extremely big move, Sean, like to 5, what I do there would sell majority of the day trade position, change it to a little bit of some swing trade size to see if it ran, just out of the blue. But like always, what I do is I try to take profits. If I can leave a little runner, I mean, that's house's money, right? I don't mind playing with the house's money sometimes, team. XES has SLB. XES. Let me take a look at that. That's probably a nice ETF there. Yeah, doesn't look too bad. Oil and gas equipment ETF. That's an S&P 500 one. Doesn't look too bad. It is starting to come back. Oil did look good on the early day. XOM was coming back. I was looking for a VWAP move. It just did it. Let's see if it comes back towards 111.10s there. LLAP trying to recover 3 now. Now is when I usually see that reversal style action. So we just got the cut through about 3 wicks here. Now I'd look for that nice little pop candle towards like 310, 312s on LLAP for that momentum style play. We'll look to see if that happens here.
CFRX curling here. This one, yeah. So this actually, so Crow, good shout here because this is actually becoming a little bit more tradable now. Again, that big push right out of the open into a halt, then into a downside halt. That's just a mess. That's just an absolute mess. But this giving us a setup here. First of all, we've got some volume sticks to compare it by if we do get another volume pop here, which I'm hoping for. I'll move through this 568 on volume pretty good and actually gives us a pretty good range here. This one I might be tempted to take here. Let's see where the VWAP's at. Oops, clicked it too many times. All right, so VWAP has support here. This currently here, this one might give you another opportunity. This and AWIN, I think the 2 small caps that might give you opportunities later in the day here today. Good stuff here.
All right, I like the SOXL trade here, guys. I'm going to look for a little bit of a pullback to 64s and 65s, but I do like the SOXL reversal. That's my play. Like always, you guys choose your own style, but that looks interesting to me. And also, I was looking on a 5-minute. As long as they hold now, it's kind of like 14.59. It doesn't look too bad. Could look for a slight little tweak down, but I think you're getting that kind of slightly reversal style also off the SPY here on the 399.09s. CFRX 7. Looks like right when that one stopped me out, it came back through those levels. You know how it goes, Ryan. 5 was that pullback there. It went to 489, and now it's back towards 558. Doesn't look too bad. And it reclaimed VWAP, though. That's one thing that I wanted to see, right? 530s. Look how it held VWAP as it came back up. This is very important to me. When a stock comes back through that VWAP and it's crushed down below the VWAP, when you clear it, look to see if you get this throwback look where you get up back to the VWAP and then you clear it. You almost want to see buyers waiting there, like the volume increase in there. That's a good level to look down. Now, one thing that I'd want to see also on the MACD, can you get this to cross over? If you get this to cross over with the price action, that's going to be looking good. Let me take my face off where I'm pointing to. But you see right here, look to see if you get that MACD crossover. We'll see what happens there. All right, team, smash the like. There's over 470 of you guys here. I expect to see at least 300 likes. Let's go. Come on. It's been a good day today. All right, let's get back to the SPY. LLAP looking interesting. It's still just battling around, but the SPYs is battling this 309 too. So we still haven't gotten through this 399 on downside or back to reversal through like kind of 399.50s going to 400. The chop doesn't look too bad there for the SOXL trade, right back up. I'm gonna try to take a quick little bang in, bang out, try to trade here. In there, SOXL, 1468s. Gonna try to play it back to 1480s and above. If I do take first profits at that 1480s, gonna look for it to get back there towards like the 1490 and then just take the money and run. Take the money and run. Don't want to see kind of the SPY really crack through kind of the 398.95s now. Let's see if it starts pushing back towards 400. That will show us more of that chop action. 5-minute is what you can keep it on also. Breaking below that kind of 398.95s really gets a test. The candle to the left is 398.85s. I'm really watching that. Fubo earnings out. Yes, I reached out to them. I'm going to try to get them on for an interview.
Oh,
see
nice.
What happens.
Nice little preview there, Mitch.
Yeah, and then later in the week, we do have a good company. We're going to be interviewing Blink. Blink Charging. So stick around, team. We got a lot for you guys, always right here on Benzinga. LLAP now
Right.
back above the threes, so I'm going to keep watch on that. I'll let you get out of here, my friend. I know that you got a lot to do. I'm in so many trades that my eyes are going sideways here, but
Be careful.
I'm going to keep after it.
All right. We will see all of you tomorrow. Thanks again. Take care and stay green.
You have a good one, Ryan. Take care, my friend. You guys can always keep up with Ryan at Faloona. Give him a follow on Twitter. You guys see it also at the top. You guys see that? If you guys need our Twitter handles, hit us up. Get back to the chopper, says Earl. We'll see. Can we get back to the chopper in Soxel? We'll find out. All right, Soxel making that little bit reversal. The SPY looking like it's trying to reverse. I'm trying to play the chop action. We'll see if we get it now. Test went right towards that 398.95, so at least we kind of can keep that into our mind now, right? I like that look as the risk here. Doesn't look too bad. And on Soxel, I'm just 1 penny away from my entry here and can hold towards that last kind of action as the support here. 365s, 360s as my out. We'll look to see if we get that move back there towards the 1485s. Back above the 399.50 will give me a little bit more confidence if I want to get an ad in here. But trying to just keep it simple, right? Don't need to be going too crazy on these trades. It's more just bang in, bang out, take the money and run. We'll see what happens there. And if LLAP can really get back above 310s, that's where I think you can get a little bit of a push. We'll see if the market can help get the momentum back to it. Peace out, Ryan. Much love in the chat. I love it. Hit the likes, guys. Matthew saying that he loves rejections, the safest trades. Hey, you got to find what works for you, right? This market reversals have been working pretty well. All right, like always, we got to know what our risks are. That's the only thing that matters, right? Keeping that always in check is going to keep you playing the game. LLAP, can we get moving? Look at the SPY right now. Back to that test. Back to that test. It could break down, though. Be careful. Here's that test down, team. Keep the risk in check here. We can risk even to the 58s and it still makes sense. It's about 10 cents for 20-cent gain. And it's actually a little bit higher than 20 cents. It's a little bit like 25 cents there. Now we're getting that test to 60. We talked about how that could act as support here. So we're going to look for that 59, 60 area to act as support. But if the SPY breaks right here, you see where it's breaking right now? It's a test here through the lows. We're going to look to see if we get that recovery or the close below that. If it closes below that, we'll probably get stopped out. LLAP starting to come back up through 304. So I like that look on LLAP. Can take a little bit more here on LLAP if I'd like. It's going to be a little bit of a move through 308s. That's where I'm going to look to add there on LLAP. Got a little bit of a piece there. I got 2 of my ads there. I wanted to get 1 more, but that's through 293s. It could just push here. I'm going to cancel my 293s as of right now because you could get just a quick wick type of action. But let's see what happens here on LLAP if it keeps pushing. There's a test there on the Soxel trade and the SPY. You can see how you're testing there. You really haven't broken it, but we got to keep this in mind, right? Keep things tight to the risk and reward that makes sense. All right, SPY trying to recover that 398.70s. If you want, sometimes when I do this, when I get to this really tight time frame, really tight kind of trade, sometimes I'll go to a tighter time frame if I need to. But I'm just trying to stick off the 5s and the 15s in this type of market. The timing of this market, a lot of the times, is going to be on deeper time frames. So you just got to be slower towards it. Stay on the 5 for me right now and just keep watching the action. All right, I don't know. With the Fed so hawkish, it seems like we'll be back to 3,600, 3,800 range later this year. I do agree with that, Urban Farms, but that's longer into the market, right? I think that we can have bounces, we can have sideways action until the next interest rates I think that we can have still this up action, kind of side action. Matthew says it's really tight. This is way too scary. Yeah, I agree. Fubo dumping, says Laura. Be careful out there, team. There's reversals back towards 64s here on Soxel, and the SPY recovers at 398.70. So I'm kind of keeping that eye, watch that. And now you look to see 398.95s recover, 399 recover. And if this candle closes green, it just did a little bit of that fake out to the downside. I actually like the Soxel here. I'm going to be adding the Soxel. Just got the ad there at the 67, so I'm still at the same spot, looking for the push back here. So that reversal got me a little bit excited, looking to see if this candle can go green here on the SPY. It's a 5-minute. Please keep your own risk, team. Just want to keep that in mind, right? You guys are doing your own trading action as I'm doing mine. Let's see what happens here. Does it reclaim to green? There you saw that slight tweak of green there on that candle. Let's see if we get that to go green. We'll be looking a lot better here as we keep moving forward into the chop zone. LLAP pulling back there towards the 3s. Just be careful there. It can still pull back even towards like kind of the 290 area. It can pull back even lower than that, right? So just got to be careful on a name like that. I do see some support coming into play. It could be down there towards 290s. So I'm giving it a chance there around the 292s, 290s. I'll add. And then hold towards 285 with all the shares for LLAP. Looking for this candle to get green. We'll see what happens. It's about 11 o'clock. Did you guys enjoy me sticking around? I wanted to stick around a little bit more and do a little bit more trading action for you guys today, but smash the likes, team. Where we're at on the like game. We need to start having some like goals out here. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look there. How we doing out there, team? What's going on? We're at 143. Come on, team. Let's see if we can get it up there to 300. Slow bead down, it seems. Well, we're bouncing back a little bit. I got that candle to go green. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying that I'm focusing on playing the chop, right? And so now that I got that candle to go green, I definitely know that we don't really want to see it break down and test down back towards 399. We want to see that 400 run up. That 400 run up is going to give me more conviction on that Soxel type of trade. Now that I'm popping towards the 70s here, as we get close towards the 80s, I'm going to take a majority of it off and let it continue to work. All right, let's see if we can get it back up there and take some profits into the Soxel move. I just need a little bit more pop as it gets towards that 400 on the SPY. I should be able to take that profit and then look to see if we continue back towards the highs. Just playing the chop, team, playing the chop. Never enough likes, right, Will? Come on, man. We do this all for free, right? I mean, a lot of people out there charge for this type of action. We're not charging you. We just need a little like. And really, it just shows also my superiors that you guys love me. Come on, get the likes up. Let's go. All right, let's go. Let's see that action. Can we get through that 399.50? Look how we tap right to 399.49. Now we're looking for that action, right? Do we get that reversal action back? We got to 75 there on Soxel. I mean, it wasn't really enough to take the profits and run there. So we're keeping the mentality here. We're looking for this to kind of push through the 399.50s. We need to see some kind of pushback here. What's up with the Tesla Dragon? I haven't seen Tesla in a little bit. It's back to the VWAP. Went close to 204. 204.22s. If we can get Tesla back to 204s today, I like that level. I like it. We'll see what happens there. All right, SPY trying to make its move back. We'll see what happens in LLAP, still sticking around at that 3. You guys named stocks out there that you guys are taking a look at. CFRX, sticking around, holding the VWAP. 3 touches on that VWAP. Rule of 3 coming into play. Now I wouldn't want to see it break 530s. I'd look for the breakout above 570s with volume waiting there, especially at 6. 6 is where you got that last halt. Look to see if you run into some sellers there. But if you clear 6 on the first kind of drive, think this is looking good for that 675. We'll see what happens on that momentum style play. SPY rejecting the 399.50, still in play for the downside. So you got to be careful on a name like that. Keep it in check. We'll see what happens if we keep getting the chop back to the upside. NVIDIA could be a good sign, right? Because that was so weak. Look how NVIDIA is starting to come back. That gives me a little bit more confidence even in this move for the chop back to the upside. We'll see what happens there. All right, looking around. It's a battle type of day out there. L lap, let's go. What are we going to do, L lap? Make a full lap around? I'm down for a full lap. We can go for it. All right, let's see if this 5-minute candle stays green. We don't want to see this 5-minute candle go back to the red. Why? Because that shows that you're rejecting the 399.50 move, and that's okay. But at the same time, we don't want to see this come right back and stop us out now as we've been adding and pushing into stock sell. Now we can be break even on the rest or take the profits and run, right? I'm looking for a push here towards 1479, 1480s to take the profits, at least majority of it. But of course, it's going to play a lot on this 5-minute candle. We're almost done with it. We got about 45 seconds to a minute left on the SPY candle, 5-minute here. Looking to see if it's going to go red. Canceling the sell order, looking to make sure that I'm paying attention to that stock sell and pullbacks. You see how the candle went red there? That's a little bit dangerous now that you got that recovery candle, but you really don't want to see bodies closing below that now. And so you could come back to test 399, but if we go to 399.70s, that's probably when we were back towards 1460s here on stock sell. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a room here. 1465s get me out on pullbacks. Don't want to keep pressuring. It's kind of like a ticking time bomb type of trade. It's either going to go or not. So from this point on, we'll see if we get to go. Nice little cut down in L lap towards the 290s. That was a good level to maybe add there around the 292 levels. So it doesn't seem bad for me on that. I'm going to look to get right here about 292s or 293s on ads for L lap. Let's do 293 on the pullback. Looking to see if it comes that up and breaks up to the upside. Stocks sell, giving a nice little lift here to 78. We're going to take majority of it off to this move here. Let's see if we can get 79. Not getting it there. Just going to take the money, taking majority of it off there. Not too bad. I took it off there exactly. I got 76 versus 79. Feel like I was getting a little picky. I kept looking for this break above the 39.50s here for the SPY, but we keep using it as resistance. That's what's stopping the continuation above the VWAP here for stock sell. Still have a decent amount because remember we added to the trade here. So let's just see if we can get this above the VWAP now. Break even on the rest no matter what. So that at least takes off a lot of the pressure here on the trade. All right, so we'll see what happens here. If this comes back and stops me out, I'm going to just put it here. I'm going to put it 1 cent off here so I don't have to stress too much of the trade and just keep paying attention towards like kind of L lap now. All right. There you go. Just set the stop 1 penny away from my entry. Really want to see the SPY get back above 399.50s. If it can do that, we're not looking too bad, right? That's the reversal signal for it to continue. There's the 1479 on stock sell. So maybe I ran through it quickly, but I'd rather take some profits and not pay myself. And then this market is definitely to take your money and run type of market. So we took some profit there. We're going to look for it to continue going up towards kind of the 1485s and 1490 area. And now just focusing on L lap. Sal said, thanks for pointing out NVIDIA. Appreciate it. Yeah, I could see it like kind of reversing off that bottom action. And it doesn't mean that I think that it's going to completely rip, but look how it pulled back. And I also talked about how it could pull back towards around 235s, made sense on the hourly level. That's a throwback look, right? right? Look at this NVIDIA throwback level, right? It doesn't look too bad at all here on that throwback. I'm going to expand it here so you guys can see that. And you can see right there, boom, nice little expansion above the trend line. And it comes back near that trend line. And now it's trying to push back higher. Doesn't look too bad there on NVIDIA. SOXL back to 1480s. Google is back. Google actually doesn't look too bad off the VWAP. If we recover 90s, I feel like there's a lot of institutional action off this 90 today and maybe algo action. I don't know 100%, but I do like how Google's holding this 90 today. It's really kind of defending it. And I think that if you can push higher off of this 90, yeah, you could get maybe back towards 90 40s, maybe even 90 80s today. We'll see what happens on this one. Look at the 15 minutes. Look how you have these kind of wick area. At least you know there's some buying pressure here around the 89.90s, 89.95 area and trying to recover the 90. SPY overall, can we get back through that pesky area right now of 39.50s? We went to 39.52, 399.52 and rejected. Mitch, you're pretty good. Thanks for your excellent commentary and teaching styles. You definitely deserve more likes. I appreciate it, man. At the end of the day, I do this for you guys also. And I don't want to like try to, I try my best very not to be kind of a pumping type of chat room. I want to call out action and I want to call out what I see. Like always, I always tell you guys, take everything I say with a grain of salt. Nothing is 100 here. We're not here for financial advice. This is for informational purposes only. We're here to try to educate at certain moments, but like always, we're trying to focus on our processed approach, right? That's what it's always about. That's what we're always going to be about here on live trading with Benzinga. All right, it's 11:09. I've definitely gone overtime. Did we get to 300 likes? That's what's going to keep me going here, team. I'm going to hit the refresh and see what we're at on the like game. You guys smash it up. You guys want to keep me here, but let's see where we're at. We're at 177. Oh, come on, team. It seems like we had some people that didn't hit the like. Come on. All right, now we're back above the 399.50s, starting to hold that action. Look at SOXL, not looking too bad on that one. We'll look to see if that can continue to push. I did get another fill in LLAP. Now we're back there towards the kind of around the 285 level. So got to be careful, really around the 280s because of the pullback levels that we got. We got 296. Going to look to add if it comes back through 3 for the extension back up. But keep your eyes on LLAP today. We'll see what happens there. All right, back to the SPY. SPY trying to hold at 399.50s. We'll see what happens there. Let's see what if the likes got there. No, the likes did not get there today. Disappointed in myself, team. Disappointed. But hey, that's all we're going to do today. I hope you guys enjoyed the action. A lot of trading action. We got a lot more for you right here on Benzinga. Next show will be, of course, start swing trading later today. As I keep going, you guys know I do it all here on Benzinga. So I will see you guys at 3 p.m. Eastern as we get into start swing trading. Check out all the swing trading action. I'll update you on some of these swing trades and we'll see. Can we get into something else? Like always, keep battling. I hope you guys keep improving. Check out our book club. We're going to keep pushing forward. We got so many books to go through. We just finished Mark Douglas in the Zone. I got all the books. I'm ready to keep going. You guys aren't joining our book club. You're missing out. Keep growing out there, team. I want you guys to keep growing in your financial skills. That's why I did the book club. So I'll throw up the link one more time to get you guys in that book club if you aren't already in. And get ready. We're about to start a new book. So don't miss out. It's going to be definitely fun. I'll see you guys next time. Hit the like on your way out. If you didn't do so already, because just been enjoying all the action. And like always, I say,
Are you not entertained?
are you not entertained? Let's go. Hit the like. I'll see you guys next time. Keep it pumping out there, team. We'll see what else is going out there. SPY coming right back down. Got to keep an eye out. See if we get cut through. We'll see it.
Check